universe. The universe. Fell in love with the universe. Tapped in with the universe. Had to do it with myself first.
Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask you is, who are you outside of Conviction, Alexis? So your personal life, your kids, your goals, your hobbies?
Yeah, so I live in a super small town. I live 15 minutes from where I was born and raised. Married, I have 3 kids, and they are 9, 6, and 3. So they keep me busy. They're all in school. My youngest son, he has autism. So with that requires a lot more therapy, things like that. I recently took up gardening, which is very relaxing. So with the chaos and everything of the conventions, it's nice now getting to kind of be out in the garden and have that calm time.
Right.
So yeah.
So my question is, you had a goal and a vision, right?
Yeah.
So Boardroom Savages is something from nothing. When did the epiphany start? And then when did you say, light bulb, and then you got to work?
So it was, September of 2021. And so my husband and my oldest and my youngest had COVID, and I had them upstairs. I'm like, okay, you guys are staying upstairs. And my middle and I were downstairs, and Anna was like, there's a great One Tree Hill company that does conventions, and it's where they filmed One Tree Hill. That's how, most of our team met, was through One Tree Hill conventions. So it's like, why don't we do something like that for the Vampire Diaries fans? Covington is such a cool town. Why did we not do something there? And so it was one of those crazy things that we just, one night, it was like a Tuesday night or something, we're like, let's do it. And so we were like, what should we call it?
What was the setting that made you say, what was the conversation? What was the aha moment?
We were going that weekend, actually. We were going to a Vampire Diaries convention. And we all still, at times we all go to Creation. Mm-hmm. And we were like, I wish that there was one in Covington. And so we're like, let's do it. So it was just kind of that random, let's just do it. We did.
How did you even, from let's do it, what was the next, hey, we're going to get on a team meeting and we're going to start this, planning tomorrow. Because it's so many pieces in Covington that with people, places, and things that you have to coordinate. How did you even take the idea, right, to execution? Well, to planning, right, to launching the execution. What was that phase like?
So Anna actually lives, which is my business partner. She lives 2 hours from here, so she comes to Covington a lot.
Okay.
So and some of our local contacts, we were like, where would be some good places that we could do this in Covington? Mm-hmm. And so they kind of pointed us in the right direction. We talked to some of the city officials, got everything in place for our first venue, which was Legion Field, which that actually used to be their camp. So the cast was used to Legion Field anyway.
That really hilarious.
So as soon as we had a venue, then that's when we started contacting some of the talent's agents, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
Wow. So now what's funny, Caitlin, is that explains that when I go do my 3 miles at Legion Field, and I see all these trailers, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Why didn't park there? That's what they were there for?
Yep.
Okay, both goes on.
Yes.
So my next question is, you and your team, how do y'all stay positive with the backlash? Now, I know this is a little controversial. A lot of people were mad at the limited tickets, but they didn't realize how small Covington is. 2,000 in one place here was really pushing it. So how did y'all deal with that, the backlash, especially with the really nasty comments, and stay positive?
So we have a group chat, and as we're sitting here, I'm sure I silenced it because it just keeps going. We talk literally 24/7, and so just kind of relying on each other, because at the end of the day, and to quote the great Sophia Bush, you are not tequila, you can't please everyone. So it was one of those things we want to keep the events smaller, and 2,000, that's a lot of people but it's small for conventions.
Right.
And we don't want to grow past that, even if there was the ability to. Like, when I went to the Taylor Swift concert, she said that there were 78,000 people there, and I so badly wanted to, like, record it and be like, this is how many people tried to buy tickets.
Right. Well, I heard those things like the Notre Dame Stadium. Everybody was on the site trying to get tickets.
Yeah, and it's like, you cannot accommodate
Like,
that.
any site crashes, Ticketmaster crashes, with the larger artists drop their tickets, so people kind of...
Yeah, and so it was one of those things. It was like a very bittersweet moment, because it was like so many people wanted to buy tickets, and we were so happy for the 2,000 that could. So I mean, we hope over the next couple of years, like, more people that didn't get tickets this time are able to. We have another event in Chicago that I don't know that we announced Kayla Yule, but I mean, we'll have other casts from the Vampire Diaries there that really know their shows. So I mean, if they want to meet some of them at an epic event, there's still opportunities. But
I love how on theme you guys are for the Vampire Diaries. I was with the festive, the June wedding. They just announced a June conventions for people who didn't get tickets. I love how, I think that's what makes Shaw's convention so special, is because it's in Covington, literally. It was shot. It was shot here. And then on top of that, y'all keep it nice and personal and intimate. So 2,000 people is a lot, but you're watching the panels, people are doing other stuff, and they're still able to see everybody.
yeah,
From the business perspective, I'm looking at the supply and demand. Like, 78,000 and then only 2,000. That's so niche, and that's like that builds the anticipation.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's like 12 midnight comes up.
I'm not playing with what it is. I was like seeing there, I was like, well, I can be here out, it's great. Yeah. I got one call my parents, was like, I got the tickets. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes, and when I seen that, I was like, hold on, this is really a big deal. And when she was like, no, really, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Like, people come from all over for this convention, which is crazy, because like, when I'm out in Covington and the convention is happening before, I'm like, where are all these people coming
The April 1.
and they say, oh, where are they going? But then it was like, oh wow, they do shoot Vampire Diaries, they do the universe, they do, like, Covington is a hub for film. Like, The Heat of the Night was filmed in Covington. That is going really bad, but it's historic. Oh yes. And I remember one time Caitlin and I were at the square, and a young lady was traveling by herself. She came from another country, and she was taking pictures on the square, and she just came to, where was she from, China?
It was somewhere because she asked us to take her picture.
Yeah, but she literally flew by herself and was like, no, I came to just see all of the places that these shows were filmed in Covington. I'm like,
And she's so unbiased because she hasn't seen Vampire Diaries. She literally, when I tell you nothing, she has not seen Vampire Diaries, the originals, nothing. So this is like an unbiased business. Like, I forget when she's looking at the business.
I want from the perspective of how you guys just started with the idea, from the concept all the way to like, oh my God, really, it's 78,000 people trying to buy 2,000 tickets. Like, wait, we need to talk about this because this is a big deal. Like, how did you coordinate? How did you even have the conversation of the talent scout to be like, hey, you guys should come through? Like, what did
let's start. How did y'all like literally know where to start? Like that point.
Yeah, so Ray, which owns FWB, which they put on the Lunchable conventions, is a great friend of our team. And so she helped us kind of from the initial start. She and then Brittany, which is also part of the FWB team, they helped us with like, hey, these are going to be probably your best people to start out with. And then Ian Summermiller's sister-in-law, Dina, she's been very instrumental as well. So we kind of already had those relationships. We were really fortunate enough to have those, and that kind of pointed us in the right direction. And then once we kind of got on our feet a little bit, we were able to do kind of the forward momentum that we needed. Luckily, we still have those relationships. We have great relationships with them as well as other people now that's continued to.
Well, I know future Boardroom Savages relationships are key.
Relationships are key, yes. Very much so.
Are key. They open the doors and they allow you to get into rooms you may not ordinarily be able to get into just by knocking on the door. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yes.
So my next question is, how did you guys pick who to be on your Epic team, making sure they were committed and focused on the convention and not the larger names that were there?
Yeah, so we, like I said, most of us met at the One Tree Hill conventions, and so we've been friends, like, since before we decided to start the company. And I think from that, like, Imani and Cindy and I, we met 6 years ago now, maybe 6 years ago, and it was by going to a convention alone. And we all met there, and so we had this great friendship. And then we met Jess, we met Sydney, we met Devin, we met Stacy, we met Julia, we met Anna. Like, we all met, and so we kind of already had that bond formed. Some of us had stronger friendships together than others before, but then kind of coming together for the company really strengthened that.
I know this is going to sound like a crazy question to ask, Alexis. What software did you guys use to coordinate for project management and to keep this all together? Because you have a lot of people that came to do this, so I know you had to have a software that held you down.
You mean just for like the ticket sales, or how do you keep track of everything?
How do you keep track of everything? Like, this is a massive project. What software were you using?
We just use Google Drive. It's crazy. So tried and true. Sydney is like our spreadsheet queen. Julia does like any of our online forms for us, and then Jess does like all of the like inputting the information for like travel and stuff like that. So the three of them are so good at that. If somebody told me I had to start a spreadsheet, I would go, no, I don't. But so they like input all of that, and it's like a joke because I'll text Sydney and just say, oops, and she's like, what did you mess up? But yeah, so Google Drive is just how we all.
And that's crazy. I'm glad that you said that, because oftentimes when you're starting businesses, you know, you're like, I need this, I need that. And like, no, you really can mooch that. Yes, Google Drive now, it's from free to low cost.
Yep.
And you can do a lot with Google Work.
The universe. Fell in love with the universe. Tapped in with the universe. Had to do it with myself first.
This episode of Boardroom Savages is brought to you by the Joe Reyes Insurance Agency at Country Financial. As you work through life, you may find you need to protect what you value most. Whether that's your business, home, auto, or loved ones, Joe Reyes at Country Financial has a solution for you. As a Country Financial insurance agent, Joe Reyes is prepared to help you with insurance options to protect what and who you love. Visit joedoesinsurance.com or call 770-967-3190.